Everybody, Kyle Goth here from GoatFilmReviews.com and the Goat Film Reviews YouTube channel, and I've got my first reaction to the new film Problemista, which is directed and written by Julio Torres, who also co-stars in the film with Tilda Swinton, RZA, and the film is narrated by Isabella Rossellini. I didn't know much about this movie. The trailer played probably 1,000 times in the theater last year before it was bumped due to the strikes, I believe. But it seemed like it was kind of like a faux fantasy type of movie. But I didn't really know how to feel like what the tone was going to actually be for this movie. A24 was releasing it, and of course I adore a lot of the films that they've released. Really, really like that company, so I was all in for this one. It follows an aspiring toy maker looking for a job at Hasbro, who has to kind of settle for anything that will get him a work visa sponsorship to stay in America. He's from El Salvador, and so he aligns himself with Tilda Swinton's character, who is a struggling art critic trying to keep her life on track, but she has some evil tendencies, if you will, that he has to keep at bay. So the central relationship is quite strong in the film. I thought Julio Torres does great as the lead, as Alejandro. Tilda Swinton is a scene stealer in all the best and worst ways in this film, because she is a truly tension-filled character, but she absolutely owns every moment she's in the film. RZA, I really liked him as well. He's not in a lot of the movie, but he's great for what was there. And I think Isabella Rossellini kind of channels narration in a way that like Helen Mirren did for Barbie last year. So a lot of the performances were great. This movie was really funny, though, too. It's got a great imagination to it. Like when Alejandro's character goes on Craigslist, there's actually like a void of space with all this random crap in it that like a Craigslist monster lives in that comes out and offers him jobs. Like, it's that kind of a style and a tone that I think is really what elevates this film beyond per se like its simplistic nature. And I like that it uses the faux fantasy elements playing off of the idea of it's hard to get into America, and it's even harder to stay here. He is a character who had a lot of difficulty getting to America to chase his dreams, but now in order to keep himself there, he has to find a work visa, but he's just been let go from a job. In order to have that, you've got to have this $6,000, and you have to make sure that you're working, but you also can't get paid until you get the job and the sponsorship. So you can't get paid any actual money until you get the sponsorship. But how do you get the sponsorship? You have to do it by getting a job somewhere. So how do you get the job if you can't get paid? Like, it's that cycle that's being done there. And he kind of points out the lunacy of it. There's another scene where he overdrafts on his account, and he explains like how ridiculous it is that people who overdraft get penalty fees, and how it's essentially just kicking the poor while they're down, or kicking the struggling while they're down. It's that kind of a minutia that Alejandro is moving through in his life, trying to just stay afloat, stay above water. And he's unable to do that a lot of the time. And so he has to make these sacrifices in order to achieve his dreams. The film is not so much saying, chase your dreams, let's do it, but let's have a society where people can chase their dreams and be at least semi-successful at it, without having to turn to other matters in order to get what you need in this world. The hustle is real, if you will. I really enjoyed this movie actually quite a bit. I would say there's a couple scenes that kind of re-emphasize points didn't need re-emphasized, so I would trim probably about 5-10 minutes from the runtime. But I do think overall it was a pretty tight runtime. I didn't realize we were at the end until we were there, because I was so engaged and I was having fun with the narrative. And again, I like a lot of the group that was at play here, and I was especially taken with Rossellini's narration. I'm going to keep like referencing that because I think it was a very strong narration too. That I was like, why would you cast her to narrate? She's a wonderful voice, wonderful actress, but like, why her? I still don't really know why, but I know that you got someone good to elevate the material, and she is able to imbue Julio's screenplay with such life for someone who is essentially unseen for the entire film. And narration is something that you should use sparingly, and I think Julio uses it sparingly enough in the film where you would almost forget she's there, but she kind of adds little punches to a lot of the narrative pieces of the film. So overall, I gotta recommend Problemista. I was a fan of this movie. It opens select theaters March 1st and wide on March 22nd. Definitely check the movie out when it hits your area, or rent it. Get a hold of it. I think A24 has another at least critical hit, or at least in my book. I think the movie is quite strong. I hope it finds the necessary viewership that it needs to survive out there. But it's definitely a fun time. And again, my top 2 films of the year so far are both movies that were pushed from 2023. So let's hope that there was a couple more films that got hurt by those writer strikes and actors strikes that are going to pop up soon here, because I've been kind of underwhelmed with a lot of the 2024 releases. So let me know your thoughts on Problemista down below in the comments section. While you're down there, please like and subscribe. There are 2 free things you can do that help support the channel immensely, and you never miss new episodes of the show as they drop. You can also check out GoatFilmReviews.com for my written reviews. You can check out Goat Film Reviews on Facebook. You can follow me personally at Almighty Goatman on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and Threads. And you can find my show, Kyle and Nick on Film, that I co-host with Nick Plotchuk from the St. Paul Filmcast. We have new episodes of that show every single week. Go ahead and check that out. All the things I mentioned, they're down in the description for this video. And we'll see you next time.